Mr. Dobbs, thank you for being here today. First of all, what prompted you to accept this invitation?
Well, first, thank you for that invitation, and I apologize to you and to your audience for not being able to speak with you in Spanish. What prompted me, Maria, is, as I've said, I want to engage in a meaningful and constructive dialogue and work with those who will work toward real solutions and not simply a continued dialogue. I believe we've had an ongoing dialogue in this country now for some number of years. Two failed efforts at comprehensive immigration reform. I think we need to honestly come together, those who have differing views on the issues of illegal immigration and border security, and make some real progress toward an understanding and a compromise that will be helpful to those who are in this country illegally.
It would be a good idea to clarify certain things that have been said on both sides. First of all, many Hispanics consider you to be the #1 enemy of Latinos because for years you have blamed undocumented immigrants for most of the problems of American society, including the economic crisis and the rise in crime. Do you think that the community is somehow misjudging you?
Oh, not somehow, definitively, absolutely. And by the way, I don't believe for a moment that the Latino or Hispanic community in the United States believes that of me at all. It has been the efforts of the far left to characterize me in their propaganda as such, but my record is clear. I've written 3 books, best-selling books, that lays out my views on illegal immigration clearly. I've spoken about illegal immigration for 6 years. I have said from the outset that I want a rational, effective, humane immigration policy in this country. And I have also said that we have to have control of our borders, particularly between the United States and Mexico, if we are to be able to control immigration. Without being able to control immigration, there is nothing that can be done. And that's been established in 2 votes in the U.S. Congress. And it's time for people to come together instead of wasting more time and frittering away time in political gamesmanship. Those games are not working. And what isn't working is a penalty to those who are in this country illegally, for whom we can both be building a bridge to a future in which there is legalization, and at the same time constructing an environment in which everyone is clear and, again, unequivocal about the need for border security and a regulated flow of immigration within the control of U.S. authorities.
Well, you mentioned that this criticism and this perception of misperception of yourself, it's only in the extreme left, and that it might be the case in the Anglo market. But trust me, in the Hispanic world, you are viewed by many people as the #1 enemy, maybe because of the many inflammatory and misleading statements about undocumented immigrants that you've made throughout the years. And let me go with the first one. The most outrageous one was blaming immigrants for a dramatic rise in leprosy cases in the United States, stating that in 3 years the cases of leprosy had suddenly jumped to 7,000, and that this was largely due to the influx of undocumented immigrants. By the way, according to the United States Department of Health, 7,000 cases of leprosy were reported over 30 years, not 3, which is a big difference. But even after that, that was proven wrong, what you had said. You stood behind your reporting, insisting that it was accurate. Why was that?
No. Let's be very clear. One, I did not stand behind that reporting. In fact, we corrected that reporting. And secondly, in fairness to me, if you will, I never said a word about leprosy and undocumented immigrants, as you put it. My correspondent on our broadcast ad-libbed, and as you're very familiar with the process of an edited report, and at the end of that, she referred to a source with whom she had been speaking, and she said at the end of that report, ad-libbed it, that is without script or preparation, but simply said it, that there were thousands of people on the registry for leprosy in the United States, and that those had it shot up dramatically over the course of 3 years. Obviously, she was wrong. My only statement, by the way, in coming out of that report was one word: incredible.
That was your response the first day let me interject one second. That was your comment the first day that report came out. There was a follow-up story the next day, and you were also confronted with this erroneous information by Leslie Stahl from CBS in the program 60 Minutes. You said that you stood 100% for what had been said in your show, and that you were the managing editor of the program, and that in your show everything that was always said was factual. And then you later said that it was 7,000 cases of leprosy, and never do a retraction on what had been said. That basically, and this is what the intro that you had in that particular show, you said the invasion of illegal aliens is threatening the health of many Americans. That's what you said during that leprosy report. And basically, that was wrong information.
Maria, in the interest of fairness,
yes,
would you like to tell your audience how long ago, in the interest of fairness, would you like to tell your audience how long ago that report was?
That was a few years ago, but let me tell you, that was a few years ago. But that statement stayed in the minds of many people.
It was 4 years
ago. It doesn't matter how many years ago. You never retracted.
Listen,
and that's many people think that Hispanics are lepers because of what you said. So, okay, so this is your opportunity to clarify that, and once and for all, put it to rest by making, I guess, whatever you choose to do, an apology, a retraction, whatever you feel most comfortable with. This is a big issue for us.
Well, if you are speaking for all Hispanic people, then I will defer to your distinction between. Well, that's very, very noble of you. I don't have the opportunity to do that for Anglo people. I'm surprised that you have found Hispanics to be a monolithic a group of people. I've not found that myself, but if that's your view. Let me say, I came here to talk intelligently, rationally, and calmly with you. Okay. I have now spent with you, 7 minutes talking about the past. If you want to do that, that's fine. I have, A, corrected that story, as I said. B, I've explained to you the context of it, the fact it was 4 years ago. So, I mean, I don't know what more to say to you other than that. And by the way, in that correction, we even pointed out, in a report, that those with leprosy in this country, on that registry, primarily originated in the views of public health officials from Southeast Asia. And you're quite aware of that as well. And it's one of the sad things to me, Maria, is that people conflate, because the left wing in this country and ethnocentric interest groups have drawn a straight line equation. Hispanic equals illegal immigrant. That is the construction of those activist groups, not of anyone. No one else is doing that. Well, certainly not me. Now, I'd be delighted to talk about any other issue you would like.
Okay, well, the thing is that...
for the chance to clarify that.
We're not going to go any more into the details of that particular case, but your critics claim that while you have a right to your opinion, and we all agree with that, those opinions are sometimes based on erroneous and based information. And the reason why this particular case is relevant is because for that report, the expert that you used was a medieval scholar who was neither a medical doctor nor a leprosy expert, and it was a woman who had no credibility whatsoever with the scientific community. And this was an anti-immigrant extremist, and this is relevant because this is the same kind of person. And again, you were the managing editor. You decide who goes in your show. You evaluate all these people, and this is an expert. This is an expert that said that Mexican men have a habit of molesting children because back in their home villages, rape was not as serious a crime as cow stealing. So I'm also the managing editor of my show, and when we're going to have a story in my program, like you do, I evaluate who are the experts that are going to be talking, and if I see that somebody's so far-fetched and says something so crazy as that comment, that person will not be in my show because he has no credibility.
Maria, do you... I can't believe are you saying that you've never made a mistake on your
Of course, but I admit them.
You know
I admit them, and I admit them, not like you did in 60 Minutes where you said, I stand by thing, this is a factual information. I would just give the benefit of the doubt. I said, well, maybe we made a mistake. Let me look into it. That's what I would say.
By the way, I wish I had said. Don't doubt that for a moment. And frankly, I don't know about you, but I probably erred in protecting my correspondent as much as I did, and that is